Taking these sides apart here, we have a nice rosewood strip of wood there that holds on the front leg. And this piece was originally glued to the wall, like this one. This is the other side. This will probably knock off if we just hit it with a nice soft mallet. This one looks like it was in a slightly damper spot. This wheel's all, it's got some rust on there. No problem though, it's not, it's very free, it's nice. So we're gonna clean this up and it will be reattached later. It's easy to work on like that. This one, yeah, I can see it flexing, so this will just pop right off if we knock it with a little mallet. The factory shim here. Nice bird's eye maple. Nice maple walls. So I'll knock that off and continue taking this apart. Okay, here's this leg.
Boy, that came off easy. That's good. Makes it a lot easier to finish. And we also renewed this glue joint here. My God, it looks like the glue is gone. That means that the piano had some serious moisture. Like in the previous video we had, yeah, moisture.
Sounds okay.
But not enough to ruin everything. Right on the edge of ruining everything. These wheels are actually in very good shape. This one isn't rusty. Anyways, this is what we do. This is how we do this. Okay, just a little short clip here. This is in factory. Somebody put this in here to quiet them down, I guess. These little piece of felt here, so I'm just taking this off now, throwing it out. Somebody went through a lot of trouble to put that in there. Helps with the tuning, I guess. Steinway 57747. Taking part in the action here, doing that evaluation on it, or we'll say a thorough evaluation. Gonna get hammers, felts everywhere, all these felts that are worn out, and we're going to do some repairs on these rails here, brass rails. If you can get them from Steinway, they're not exactly the same shape as these, and it makes things difficult where these fit. So that's what we're doing, taking this apart. Careful not to break anything. Well, we put this on the heater overnight, actually all weekend, and the dowels inside here seem to have shrunk a bit, and they were very, very easy to knock out, and they were in good shape. Those hard maple dowels in here. So we couldn't do this with them in there, of course. We're going to clean this good and clean here. And we're going to solder these together. Plug in a soldering iron. Our favorite one. I can heat it with the torch too, that speeds it up quite a bit. Now we get this crack here, which is the most important thing. Now, while he's running a hot soldering iron over these joints between here, we're going to try it. And I'm going to be heating this with a torch to get the heat, for one thing, even on both sides, especially this side here. And hopefully it might help anneal this brass. If I can bring it up to 300 degrees or so, even for a short period of time, it'll help take the tension out of the metal. It really does. In fact, if it wasn't for this lead here, the lead solders here, in fact these are with lead here, I would be able to heat the whole rod up. Of course, with the risk of warping it. I have to put it in a pizza oven. Well, we're not going to do that. Clean this good here. This crack here. We're going to put it vertical and then run the solder down here so it start up here and go this way. Close this up. Don't have to clean everywhere. This will make it look good. We'll see. Stupid clamp is acting as a heat sink, pulling the brass off. Alright, looks pretty good. Well, we'll see. Looks pretty good. Alright, we got the split here, pretty bad split. So we're going to fill this up with soldering paste right now. Make sure it gets in there. Acid paste, I guess. I don't know what this is. Maybe it isn't acid anymore. We got new stuff. Boy, it's cracked all the way to the end. I guess it's the forces in the metal that cause this dezinkification, I think. That's what it says. Doesn't want to stick to the brush for some reason. It's very annoying. There we go. Get a lot in the crack, jam it right in there. Make sure we get some in there. See, like this. Wipe the excess off with a cloth. Or it only has to be in the crack, I guess. There. Now we're going to clamp this vertical, like so. Pulls it in real nice. That's going to have have a top clamp. Pulling this way. That's it. Just get it lined up like this. Vertical. We'll run the solder right down there while we're heating it up. There, it looks great. Getting it good and hot all over. So it doesn't warp. This one rail only has a small crack in it. That's it. Now that's it. We've repaired the brass on this frame, which was split pretty badly in different places on these rails all the way down. So we took the dowels out, knocked the dowels out, and we repaired the brass. We soldered them together after vigorous cleaning and preparation. So here we have it. This is going to last a long time now. What I have here, oops, are the dowels going aside. And luckily, they're in perfect condition, it seems. Nobody messed this up, stripping the holes, putting larger screws. Oh, there's so many things that can happen to this, and that hasn't happened. These are the original screw holes, and they're beautiful. Now see these dents in here, you know, that's caused by this crimping, and I have a theory as to why these split. Now this piano was in very humid conditions, and these dowels, if they swell up, they work the brass. Expansion and contraction. I'm sure that contributes to the cracking of the brass, but not entirely. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to put these back in now, and it should be lasting another 100 years. We'll see. Now we're going to clean these up a little bit, and it'll be looking nice to go back in the piano. Yeah, threaded rod there. Make sure it's free. Oh, it is. We got some junk coming out. Little blobs of steel wool and stuff. And it seems to clear them up nice.
They look very clean.
Very clean.
Inside.
Good. What we're going to do is we're going to try to put these, well, we must put these dowels in here, but we are not going to force them in. They're going to be snug fit. Because once they're in there, all the screws for the flanges, everything holds it in place real tight. So what we're going to do is, if we have to, we'll just sand it down a little bit so it fits into here, slips in without a large amount of force, and then we'll be golden, so they say. Putting the dowels in, they would go in easy, but there was a few chunks of solder inside the tubing, and that's why when we soldered these, we soldered them this way. So the solder runs down, but we still got a few little drips inside that soldered themselves, and the lumps inside prevented, of course, these dowels to go down here. This has to fit in like this. If you have any lumps of solder in there, you're done. So what we did was we made a little grinder out of a threaded rod, sharp threads. And when you push this through, it's loose in here. So, in a crude way, you just put a cloth here and you push it through, and it feeds through with your threaded rod. Now it depends how heavy you make this cloth. A little bit heavier, it drives the rod in the direction that you want it to, up against the side. So this is how we got the solder out of the rod. Little lumps that are inside. They're hard to get to down inside here, unless you made a special tool. But this is our special tool, see? And it just goes down and grinds the little tiny solder interference. And our rods fit perfectly if you get them in the right way. Let's see, where is it here? Oh yeah, see, somebody did a repair here a long time ago. One of these broke off and they drilled through the bottom and they did a nice neat repair job. See, you can tell here, this one of these holes is larger than the other. Somewhere's down here somewhere, right there. Anyways, it was repaired properly, and where is it? I don't see it. Can't see it. It's one of these. Oh, it's on the other side, of course. Can't see it. Oh, right there. That hole. That's just up there. Anyways. Good indicator as to where this goes. Goes in here. And these slide in very nicely. Just like so. And they'll be good for another 100 years maybe.
Okay, working on this upright here. I just took out some of these fallboard hinge screws. I think only one of them was damaged. This one's actually a replacement. You can tell the threads are different compared to these. These are the original. Same type of head though. They look very good. They'll go right back. I'm taking this apart. This is ready to be sent to the finishing room to be stripped. One neat little thing. Looks like they screwed up somewhere. They got an 8 here from the factory. And the number is 57747. It's upside down. Nice pretty number there. This piano had someone go over it with some type of finish at some point. You might be able to see the brush strokes in there. Someone went over it with a rag maybe. Over here. And this is the original finish. You can see where it seeped under this piece of wood. This sits up here. Just something to know. This is sticky. These parts stick to each other because the finish melted and kind of glued it together. This finish is peeling off. The wood is fine though. Wood is safe. So I'm going to continue taking apart all of the parts, removing all the hardware. Hinges in beautiful condition. Make sure we keep all these things together. Music desk holder. And we'll just keep moving along. Okay, here is one of the cheek blocks. You can see it took a little piece of wood off here. We can take this little piece off and put it back. These are glued on. The glue failed on this one. This one just kind of popped off when we took the screws off. Let's take this off. And this one over here is being much more stubborn. We're going to try to knock it off. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
That can be patched up.
Squeeze that back together.
Very good. Okay, preparing to glue all of this loose veneer here. If you can see it in the light, you can see all the way up to about here is loose. It's wavy. It's not glued to the side. Down here is loose too. That needs to be opened up and glued. The other side is the same, so I'll set this up and glue it. Getting ready to remove the plate. Painstakingly taking all the strings off the pins here. Removing all these screws. And we're keeping them in order because many of them are different sizes. I need to make sure they go back to where they were. Next I need to make a tool to remove this part. This nut, brass nut thing, without damaging it. Shouldn't be too difficult. Got some more screws down here. These weird feet. Somebody added these chunks of wood, probably to help move the piano on a dolly, because these are very hard to move. It just sits on this and the whole piano rocks. So we'll look at those later. Right now we're going after the plate, which should be out soon. Grabs. There we go. Very nice. Made a quick tool out of a pipe. Came out perfectly, zero damage. That's what we want. Funky brass thing. Here's the bottom parts where the wheels go. You can see cracks in these. We're going to fill these with some glue and squeeze them with clamps. And that should make them nice and solid. Crack on that one. This one's cracked. Both sides. Make sure they're good and strong. This one looks okay. Crack in the front. So we'll clamp these up and they should be good.